the man unexpectedly discovered. After crossing over, I actually got a strange skill called an online supermarket. By investing in otherworldly currency, you can purchase real-world items. Even shipping is a matter of moments. This makes the male protagonist happy. Not long ago, he thought it was a waste skill. At that time, there were a total of 4 people who were summoned. The little marshal on the left likes to mention the title of Holy Sword Messenger. Genie and Timmy on the right are proficient in the 5 attributes of the Holy Light, Wind and Thunder soldiers. Seeing this, the magic soldiers shouted that the kingdom was saved. But when the male protagonist is identified, it is embarrassing. The word online supermarket. The locals have never heard of the classical words, and the male protagonist is also a little fierce. I'm afraid this skill is not for funny, but since it is all here, the king still has to meet. After hearing that the purpose of summoning them was to defeat the demon king, the other 3 soldiers expressed their willingness to serve. Only the male protagonist feels that things are not that simple. Not to mention staying here with his skills, it will only hold everyone back. So he begged the king to let him go. He promised to hide the identity of the hero. Low scheduling day, king agreed to the male protagonist's request and gave him 20 gold coins. It shall be used as a severance fee and hush money. The male protagonist doesn't know how much these are or how little they are. I was confused. Why are the people around him staring at him? After realizing that there was a problem with his own dress, he first came to a clothing store, bought a set of local costumes from all over the world. Then he began to gather intelligence everywhere. At the end of the day, the male protagonist has a preliminary conclusion that it is not suitable to stay here for a long time, because the royal family always gives people a feeling of spending money. But before leaving, after opening the system panel, in addition to the basic levels and attributes, the male protagonist also has 2 skills, appraisal and prop box. As for the inherent skills, online supermarket with curiosity, the male protagonist tried to click. As a result, he was dumbfounded the next second. What caught my eye was a large online supermarket at first glance. The goods sold on it are no different from the real world. So he tried to see the interface, prompting that the balance was insufficient. The male protagonist tried to put a silver coin from another world into it. Then after clicking to buy, a magical scene. Then a cardboard box appeared out of thin air next to the male protagonist, and the contents are the water and bread he ordered. Just now, take a bite. The taste is exactly the same as reality. It seems that not only will you not worry about eating and drinking in the future, you can also make a fortune with this. After learning about the skills the next day, the male protagonist set off for the border. On the way to the city, he learned from the merchant that the world had a prop box in 1 of 1,000. As for the appraisal technique, it is a miracle that every businessman aspires to have. But unfortunately, only the summoned brave will. Although it can also be replaced with magic items, it is currently stipulated that the police line union holds it. Just when the male protagonist silently warned himself that he must act carefully in the future, the businessman revealed him an important piece of information. It is said that the smell of gunpowder in this country is getting stronger and stronger. Maybe the border will be blocked in the near future, and the male protagonist thought he slipped away quite early. But when he arrived at the border, he was dumbfounded, because the cross-border carriages have begun to be suspended. During meals, the male protagonist learned from the adventurer. The reason why the above ordered the border to be closed is to prevent the loss of citizens. After all, if the population decreases, the number of soldiers will also decrease. So if he planned to run away, the 2 suggested that he speed up the progress. The male protagonist has this intention, but the problem is that it will be dangerous to cross the border alone. It is inevitable that you will encounter monsters or something on the way. After thinking for a while, he came to the adventurer. The union intends to hire a C-class adventurer squad for 8 coins. Even in order to satisfy the other party, the male protagonist also offered to be responsible for the food along the way. For such good things, the captain naturally did not refuse. So the next day the group embarked on the trip. It is worth mentioning, except for the captain's meat shield, the others in the team are swordsmen, red throat mage and nanny, very standard golden group configuration. During the break, the male protagonist took out the pot and the portable stove from the prop box. Seeing this scene, the sword was envious. No wonder the male protagonist had so little luggage. And the red hair lit up after seeing the magic furnace. The male protagonist quickly lied that it was transferred by a friend. Although there are similar things in this world, but the price is as high as 50 gold coins, and the male protagonist can't afford it at all. In the end, I had to choose a discounted cassette stove in the online supermarket. Breakfast, it doesn't have to be too rich, so the male protagonist only prepared sandwiches and hot soup. These foods are either pre-made dishes or cooking kits, but after everyone tasted it, they were all conquered by the taste of such delicious food. It was the first time they had eaten it. In this regard, the male protagonist had to pretend to be stupid and say that these were all brought from his hometown. After eating and drinking, the group continued on their way. All monsters encountered during this period are handed over to the guards. Male protagonist, this guy just needs to watch from the side. Of course, occasionally there will be unexpected things. The skin and fangs of the red mountain pig are valuable. The cut pork male protagonist is ready to be put into the prop box. Just right for tonight's ingredients. Put the bacon in the pan first. Fry for a while, then add some vegetables and sausages to stew. Wait until cooked and ready to eat. This time the response from the crowd was even more enthusiastic, and it was not enough. Some of them said that their bodies were more flexible than ever after eating. Some people also feel that the fatigue of the whole body has subsided. At first, the male protagonist still couldn't believe it, because it sounds like eating and not wanting. But until he secretly launched the appraisal technique. When he saw the arrow that rose significantly in the attribute bar, he immediately spat out. I never expected that the dishes I made could temporarily improve my attributes. If this is discovered by the bad guys, I am afraid that he will not be in prison. I will be a coolie for a lifetime. But what he didn't know was that there was already a pair of eyes in the forest. A few days passed in a flash, seeing that it is getting closer and closer to the destination. This time the male protagonist plans to do something different. The main ingredient is still sequoia pork, but he plans to change the sauce to ginger pork, taking advantage of the period of marinating the meat. The male protagonist first shredded the cabbage and heated it. Okay, add an appropriate amount of salad oil after pan. Then add the pork covered in sauce to the pot. The rich fragrance of the inner evil came to the nose. Others were already a little impatient after smelling it. Of course, it also includes uninvited guests. Wait until the pork is cooked, and when the sauce becomes a little thick, the delicious grilled red mountain pork is ready. Seeing this bottle to everyone, he was instantly uneasy. After actually eating it, that is also a lot of cost out of 10. They intend to score 8.4 points, because the male protagonist really has 1.6. Even the wet nurse who doesn't like pork has completely fallen into it. However, just when the group was not easy to eat happily, unexpectedly the magical beast hidden in the shadows but suddenly appeared. Everyone was strong, and they were immediately frightened, because they recognized it. This was a legendary monster. Seeing the captain nodding, he motioned for the male protagonist to carefully hand over the plate. The demon wolf was very satisfied after swallowing it, but this amount was not enough. The male protagonist, he stuffed the scene, quickly said that he could do it again, but wait a little bit. The demon wolf agreed, but we must hurry up. So the male protagonist immediately transformed into a ruthless cooking, a machine. Even the tableware was replaced with the largest one, but the demon wolf's belly is like a bottomless pit, and it can't eat enough. The male protagonist had no choice but to keep repeating the cooking action. Bowl after bowl, just look at this ingredient. You know how outrageous. The male protagonist's savings are going to be eaten by him, so he is busy while eating. Lived for 2.5 hours. The demon wolf was finally satisfied, and the male protagonist was completely tired and scared. I thought that the other party would leave on their own after they were full. Unexpectedly, the demon wolf relied on him. It is better to propose than to sign a contract. As soon as these words came out, the 5 people hiding behind the tree were stunned. The male protagonist suddenly felt that it was not good. A monster like this with wisdom is not simple at first glance.
I think
The male protagonist is also convinced. It seems that he has no choice at all. Then the demon wolf called him to come to him, and as a holy light flashed on his forehead. After the 2 parties are affixed, it means that the contract is signed.
I mainly look at my obligations. Do you understand troublesome obligations?
I see you eat 3 times. Expect me.
Good guy. This is a long-term contract. The next day the group embarked on the trip again, but the captain was worried. They probably couldn't even enter the city gate. After all, in the eyes of humans, Fenrir is a nation-destroying being, but the Demon King said that none of this mattered. The most urgent thing is to cook in advance. The male protagonist is speechless. How can there be so much meat now? If you want to eat it, then catch it yourself. Unexpectedly, the demon wolf was not angry. On the contrary, it makes sense that there was no trace of the search. However, the guards who witnessed this scene were not calm. There is actually someone in the world who can command the legendary monsters. This is simply a heifer flying to the sky. The male protagonist was just about to explain. The other party is just a foodie, but I didn't expect the next second. The demon wolf came back with his prey. The captain recognized it at a glance as a big red monster. Eyed bird, even if their squad goes all out, I am not sure that the meat of the celery is different from pork. The male protagonist plans to use teriyaki sauce and fry both sides until browned, then use thin oil paper to remove excess oil. After adding the sauce, simmer to allow the meat to absorb completely. The final product looks like this. It looks particularly appetizing. However, in view of the demon wolf's outrageous appetite, the male protagonist decided to feed the others first. Finally, it was the turn of the demon wolf. It was still a familiar scene, and the bird meat was basically made by the demon wolf. Soon after, everyone finally arrived at the border as the captain expected. The soldiers defending the city stopped them. Even if the male protagonist explained that he had signed a contract with the demon wolf, the leading soldier was still a little hesitant until the demon wolf spat out human words. As long as no one causes trouble, they won't take action. The leader reluctantly led them in. After entering the city, the male protagonist's mood is obviously much more relaxed, but the captain reminded him not to take it lightly. Because of the contract with the legendary demon wolf, I'm afraid this matter will soon reach the ears of the spirit lord. The male protagonist was a little uneasy after hearing this, but fortunately, this is not his end. In the future, he plans to rely on online supermarkets to earn some foreign money while traveling in style. Traveled all over the world, knowing that the male protagonist wants to set up a stall to sell things in the future. The guards suggested that he join both the Merchants Guild and the Adventurers Guild. In this way, you will not only have the qualifications to be a wholesaler, you can also ask adventurers to deal with the prey brought back by the demon wolf. Just when the male protagonist was thinking seriously, he suddenly came towards him. An uncle claimed to be a messenger sent by the local count. I want to invite him to have a meal with the demon wolf at the mansion. The male protagonist immediately guessed the other party's careful thoughts, but no matter how he refused, the uncle refused to give in. This scene really made the demon wolf a little unbearable. The demon wolf knew that the other party must be based on his strength, so he warned him to go. Anyone who uses their own humanity. Today's grave grass is 2.5 meters high. As soon as the words fell, the uncle was directly frightened and fled. After saying goodbye to the guards, the male protagonist first came to the appearance of the Merchant Guild demon wolf. It scared the people around him. Running at the front desk, the psychological quality is high. After learning that it was just a simple membership, soon he applied for a trade union card for the male protagonist. However, I never thought that I had just gone out. The demon wolf's stomach was hungry, so the male protagonist was preparing dinner non-stop, but in the process of cutting the meat, he suddenly missed the taste of rice. This is to be replaced by someone else. I can only think about it, but for the male protagonist who owns an online supermarket, it is simply not too convenient. While waiting for the rice to cook, the male protagonist prepared 4 different flavors of sauces for the demon wolf. To his surprise, the other party's favorite food is actually garlic flavor. After a while, the rice is also cooked. Place the fried pork on top. Drizzle with a little steak sauce. The red mountain pork chop rice bowl is completed. After taking a sip, directly confused by the male protagonist. After eating, the demon wolf was very satisfied. Unexpectedly, Furio was to his liking. Seeing that his money bag is about to be empty, the next day, the male protagonist came to the Chamber of Commerce again. I plan to sell some of the goods. After the front desk girl opened the bag, she was instantly uncalm, so he was taken directly to the VIP room. And the uncle inside is the president of the Merchants Association. It was the first time he had encountered salt and pepper of such good quality. This is already the highest quality product that can be dedicated to the king. If you can, he was willing to buy it for 14 gold coins. The male protagonist was stunned after hearing this, cause these two things can be bought in the supermarket for 10 copper coins. Although I have heard that pepper can be equivalent to gold in the past, but that is too much of an exaggeration.
If it is less, then yes. What if 2 gold goods are combined with 15 pieces? It is on. Is it okay? So, 16 gold coins. It is up again. Then, 17 gold coins.
I can't raise it above that. Yes, that is fine.
After the negotiations, both sides were tired enough, but only the male protagonist knew that he exchanged only 10 copper coins for 17 gold coins. Although this method is violent, it cannot be used often. The male protagonist came to the Adventurers Guild again, because this time there was no demon wolf behind him. So others are very disdainful when they see the poor male protagonist. Even the front desk girl knew the male protagonist's intentions. Just hand him a registration form. Even if you fill in the information, you don't bother to look at it. The whole process takes less than a minute. It ended hastily, and the male protagonist will start from the lowest level of gathering, and take on at least 1 commission every month. Although there are many types of tasks on the board, according to the regulations, the male protagonist can only receive the highest F grade, so he chose a very simple task of collecting herbs. After going back, Demon Wolf's stomach was hungry again. He said he still wanted to eat. Last night's garlic steak sauce, the male protagonist fulfilled it, but he thought about it afterwards, and felt that something was wrong. In my impression, dogs and cats seem to be unable to eat onions and garlic foods, but this product was not affected at all. With curiosity, the male protagonist opened the appraisal. As a result, he was surprised by the values above.